Hey, what's good, guys? It's your boy G Marcus TV, back with a brand new video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, I'm giving you guys an episode recap and review on Bel-Air Season 2. And this is episode number 2, and this one is called Speaking Truth. So you guys know how we do on this channel. I give you guys a recap first, and I give you guys a review at the end. So let's get straight to it. So the episode starts off with Will at the basketball game. So he goes back and forth with his coach because he's trying to impress Hightower. They argue about who's going to take the last shot. So you're thinking to yourself, he's going to take the last shot. He's going to be rebellious. But he does not take the last shot, and they end up losing. After the game, Hightower tells him he was impressed by the skills, but he got to take over when needed. So Will said that he really had to listen to the coach. And Hightower was just like, yo, you really got to start breaking the rules. You got to do what you got to do, like, in order to win, because the coach is not going to argue with a winner. So Will, now he talks to Uncle Phil about Hightower and how he can help him get a scholarship. So Phil is just on some shit like, yo, there's other ways to get a scholarship. And why he didn't come to us first instead of just going to you. So Phil is not really feeling how this guy Hightower just came out the blue. So now we're in Ashley's class, and Miss Hughes is teaching, of course, and the girl Olivia is watching them and is hating. She's just not liking the bond between Ashley and Miss Hughes because, of course, Miss Hughes is giving her extra credit to write summaries on books that's not on the syllabus. So now Hillary wants to use Jazz's car to shoot a video for her influencer stuff. So he's just on some like, yeah, he doesn't really want to use the car, but of course she begs him, she asks him nicely, oh, can I please use the car? So reluctantly, he gives her permission to use the car. So Lisa and Carlton, they talk, and she wants him to put in work for the Founders Award. So he's just on some like, yo, he don't think that's a good idea because nobody black has the award. She just pushes him and said this would be the best thing for him to do. Of course, he plays a big role in the school, so she's really pushing him to go after it. So Will, he talks to the team about stepping their shit up, and the dude, Kurt, he gets like very defensive. Kurt is the guy that made the last shot, but he did not make the shot, which ended up making the team lose the game. So he's telling Will basically off like, yo, watch how you talk to me, watch the attitude, to say Philly, and then the whole team was basically against Will. So Will is just looking at them like, word? It's like, I'm trying to come with y'all on some kindness, on some peace, on to like make things work, and that's how y'all talking to me? Well, y'all then. So Miss Hughes, she ends up getting fired from the school. So Ashley's just trying to find out, yo, what the hell is going on? Why are you fired? And she says, I cannot discuss it with you. So Ashley's like really tight, like, yo, why the hell did they fire Miss Hughes? So with Hillary and Ivy, they end up shooting the influencer video. So they're doing the scenes, and Ivy decided that she wants to ride the car, which was not what Jazz and Hillary agreed on. Ivy ends up shooting the scene where she's driving Jazz's car, but Jazz pulls up to the set, and he sees that, and he's really pissed off. Like, why? Like, yo, that's not the agreement that we had. Why would you do that? So she's talking to him and telling him, like, no, it was not planned. I promise you, that's not what we had planned. It happened last minute. But, of course, you know, it just looks really bad. So Ashley tells Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv that, hey, Miss Hughes got fired. So they become pissed off. They're just like, yo, this is one of the few black teachers inside the school. This is one of the teachers that actually cared. So Aunt Viv said, nah, we're going to actually do a meeting. This cannot go down. So they're going to basically fight for Miss Hughes. So Carlton now, after telling the family that basically the medication is giving him more anxiety, which I didn't even know Carlton was on medication. That's definitely something I missed. I don't know if this was in the first season or if this was in the first episode, but I was not aware they was on meds. I knew he was on coke, but I didn't know he was on meds. So this was like different to me. But he basically explains to Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil that basically the medication for anxiety is giving him more anxiety. So they ended up talking to the doctor, seeing that they can reduce it. So after having a meeting with the doctor and everything, they decided to take him off the meds. So Will and Jackie, they finally talk on the phone, and Will, you know, he's trying to talk about Hightower, how he can impress him, but Jackie's not really trying to talk about that. He wants to see her, he wants to chill with her, so she says, okay, well, I'm going to be at a club tonight in East LA, so hey, you should come through. But the thing is, of course, Will is underage, so he said that he will definitely try to make his way in, he will definitely be there. So Aunt Viv had the meeting with the school for Miss Hughes, and they basically just said that, hey, she was violating the rules of the school because she was giving outside books for black authors and black history, and that's not what they had on the syllabus. This is not what they wanted to teach the kids. So they're on some Like, yo, this is a dead end. We already made our decision. There's nothing that you could do. So Aunt Viv is on some like, oh, word, watch me. So Phil and Geoffrey, they finally squash the beef. They go to a nice little place where they smoking some cigars, and they basically squash the beef. Like, it was really a good scene for me. Probably my favorite scene in the episode, because I'm just like, yo, the fact that they really fired my boy Geoffrey, like, it really messed me up. Like, damn, not Geoffrey. He might be my favorite character on the show. They hang out, they squash the beef. Geoffrey talks a little bit about his own son, and yeah, it was a nice little cool scene. Will tries to sneak out the house to go to the club to meet with Jackie, so Carlton sees him trying to sneak out, and he was like, okay, well, there's only one way to sneak out, I know that way, and tells him, yo, just take me with you to the club. Which is a really bad idea, because he just got off his meds. So Will decided to bring him along, and Jazz is looking at him like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Why would you bring Carlton along? Will just brushes it off, and they ended up going to the club together, all three of them. But they go to the club together, and Carlton is turned up. He's being a little weird, he's sweating bullets, and he's with these two chicks. So as he's with these two chicks and he's turning up, Will is trying to keep an eye on him, but of course you know you can't really keep an eye. You can't babysit somebody when you're trying to have fun, especially at the club. Jazz ends up getting the chick too. Will, he gets with Jackie, they start talking, and it turns out that Jackie's uncle actually Hightower, which was something that was like a wow, because she did not let him know that in the first episode of the season. She did not let him know straight up, yo, this is my uncle. Hightower and Will, they talk, and Hightower just tells him like, yo, like, you need to really, basically what he said earlier on, you should really start taking over, do what you gotta do, break the rules, and you should join the AAU program. Like, he gives him some good advice, and you can see that Will is taking it. Will's gonna basically follow it. So now Geoffrey is officially back in the house as the butler, and everybody is happy as hell. Will wants to know like how he got back in the house, but Phil just shuts him down. But we are all happy to see the man Geoffrey back in the house. Like, it's about time. So Carlton joins Viv and Ashley on getting justice for Miss Hughes. He decides that he's gonna step up and step in and help them out. So Hillary, she finally introduces Jazz as her boyfriend to Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv. Like, they basically thought that they was going to have lunch together, just Hillary, Uncle Phil, and Viv. But it turns out that Jazz was there, and they're all going to have lunch together. So it was a really, really awkward thing, because remember in the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Uncle Phil was not really feeling Jazz. He always kicked him out the house, threw him out the house, literally threw him out the house. So he wasn't feeling it, but he played along with it. So Will gives Carlton a good idea to protest, basically like, yo, since they did what they did to Miss Hughes, it's like, it's a good idea for them to protest and like really not go to any of the classes. Basically show them like, yo, what y'all did was f***ed up and we're not going to support this. Carlton, of course, he already has high anxiety. He already is going through something right now. So he's just on some like, I don't think this is a good idea, really not a good idea. And Will's just like, yo, if you don't do this, then they're going to keep doing this over and over again. So Will just really pushes it and says, yo, it will be fine. I'll make sure that you're good. So on Viv, she goes to see Reed. She goes to go see him. They have an appointment together at his office, and it turns out that he wasn't there. So the secretary basically said he had an emergency. So she was just like, what is the emergency? And the emergency was light. It was nothing crazy. So she's pissed off. Really, really upset. And she ends up saying, like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm not doing this no more. I'm done with his services. I don't need him. This is it. It is what it is. So now we're at the last game for the show. And Will, of course, he does what Hightower tells him to do, and he breaks all the rules. He does not pass the balls to the player. He does not do anything. He just busts the game, and he actually wins the game. So they're all shocked. They're all over here like, wow, like this guy really won. So later on, he talks to Hightower, and Hightower tells him, I told you, the coach is not going to argue with a winner. Basically told him like he did his thing on the court. So your boy, Uncle Phil, he intervenes. He comes in and he just basically introduces himself. And Hightower told him who he was. So they talk and he's just like, yo, why you didn't come to us first? Why would you go straight to Will and not come to us? So he's just like, okay, we can talk anytime. So Hightower gives him his card and Uncle Phil says, okay, we'll talk if. And he gave that if, like basically saying that, yeah, it's a great chance we're not going to talk if it comes to Will's future. So that's how the episode ended. So that was my recap. I give this episode a rating of 8. It was a good episode. I liked it. I love the fact that Uncle Phil and Geoffrey finally squashed that beef, because that beef was so stupid. I'm happy that he got hired back. I'm happy they had a nice little grown man type of event where it was just like they were smoking on them cigars. Loved it. I love the fact that they showed that Carlton was on meds, which I did not know that. I had no idea that Carlton was on medication. Like, maybe I missed it in the first season. Comment down below if it was in the first season or in the first episode. I just didn't see it. But it just showed me that, okay, the family is not perfect. Because I knew he was on drugs, but I didn't know he was on medication. So I'm happy they put that in this episode, that they took him off meds, and you're seeing how he's acting without the meds. I love the fact that Uncle Phil stepped in when it comes to Hightower and was just like, yo, we're the parents, you're supposed to come to us first. Really, really, really love that. But I really love this episode. Comment down below, tell me what you guys thought about tonight's episode. Thank you guys for watching me. Thank you guys for supporting me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Love you guys. Thank you guys. It's your boy G Marcus TV, signing off.
Got it. That's a wrap.